More than 70,000 people are buried within the boundaries of Oak Hill Cemetery in Evansville. But of those, only one funeral has ever drawn over 6,000 curious onlookers. And it is now the subject of our latest edition of Tri-State Treasures.
The hierarchy of the Gypsy culture begins with its king and queen, but when one of these important patriarchs passes, their funerals are sometimes a spectacle. We sat down with the superintendent of city cemeteries for Evansville, Chris Cook, who describes the scene found at Oak Hill Cemetery in April of 1896.
I had no idea of the ties that the Gypsies had to Evansville until I became superintendent 11 years ago, but it seems like there was a significant presence here in the area, that they would stay here part of the year, and they were large landowners at the time.
Despite their transient or nomadic lifestyle, some Gypsies did build permanent homes in Evansville, with one of the most famous being Elizabeth Harrison, thought by many to be the queen of the Gypsies. Cook says that on the day of her funeral, a large gathering of Gypsies turned out to honor her, as well as over 6,000 curiosity seekers.
There were probably 50 Gypsy wagons represented in town that time, so the majority of those folks were just like rubberneckers on a highway today.
A big reason for the large crowd might have been born out of a rumor circulating about the funeral at the time. Cook explains what curiosity seekers hope to see.
Because there was a rumor around Evansville at the time, from what I'm told through published reports, that there was going to be a ritual Gypsy wagon burning here at the gravesite. That did not happen.
With such a large turnout, one might wonder the significance or importance of being a Gypsy king or queen.
There's different Gypsy tribes, and there's a king and a queen. Essentially, they're like the head of the household or the head of the group. I would assume the king and the queen would kind of be the go-to person for that Gypsy family to kind of help them get to work, kind of ensure everybody was taken care of, handle disputes.
One of those family disputes would eventually take the life of Harrison's husband, Isaac, 4 years later, gunned down by one of his own sons after breaking up a fight between siblings. The folklore and legend surrounding the Queen of the Gypsies would grow in the decades to come. Cook says that the Gypsy plot remains one of the cemetery's most popular destinations.
High school students come out here almost every season to see the gravesite. It's one of the most popular requested gravesites that we see because everybody has this mysticism and ideas around what a Gypsy lifestyle is.
And that curiosity will likely live on as more arrive each year in search of this tri-state treasure. Tommy Mason, 44 News.